Was Kim Porter's death a tragic accident, or did Diddy and a Hollywood fixer hide the dark truth?
I'm so proud. I'm like the proud mother. Yes, do you see my smile? Jeez.
He still want to find out the truth because allegedly Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health. We just saw each other prior to her passing.
When it comes to Kim Porter, there is only one person who has stayed fast in his conviction to prove Diddy wrong. For 7 years, he's been screaming the same truth that everyone dismissed as conspiracy theories. Kim Porter didn't die of pneumonia. She was eliminated. And now, with a federal subpoena in his hand, Al B. Sure is about to walk into that courtroom and destroy every lie Diddy's defense team has carefully constructed. This isn't just another celebrity death controversy. Kim Porter was Al's first love, his secret wife, the mother of his son. They were planning their future when Diddy entered the picture and systematically stole everything Al held sacred. But Kim knew too much about Diddy's empire, the surveillance, the mistreatment, the freak-offs that happened weekly just like with Cassie. She was writing a tell-all book that would have brought down the entire operation. And according to Al, that's exactly why she had to disappear. When you look back, things just don't add up. The coroner's report, full of questions, not answers. What exactly did Diddy do behind closed doors? How deep does the web of control and silence go? And who really pulled the strings to make Kim Porter disappear? The courtroom is about to reveal truths that have been buried for years, and none of it is what you expect. You think you know Kim Porter's story? Think again. The media fed us this narrative for years, painting Kim as some desperate girlfriend chasing after Diddy, begging for commitment. But that whole storyline, pure fiction. Kim wasn't single when Diddy swooped in. She wasn't available. She was already somebody's wife, building a life with the man she actually chose.
But what's funny, I posted something the other day.
Yeah.
Talking about my ex-wife. Yeah, I said it, my ex-wife.
Kim Porter.
Nobody knew, because we didn't discuss being married. We didn't discuss it. But I was just giving her, you know, like every so often I give a tribute. Yeah. I'm taping stuff and I'm watching me because so what happened was I get the call from Queenie Donaldson telling me, "Hey, you okay?" And I was, why do you ask me I'm okay? He's like, "You all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to film. We're doing the opening packages for Soul Train Awards." And then I was like, "Why? Did you hear about Kimberly?"
Not dating, not engaged, married. Al just shattered every story you've ever heard about Kim and Diddy's relationship. This man isn't some bitter ex trying to rewrite history. He's revealing a secret Kim carried to her grave. Diddy didn't win Kim's heart. He stole another man's wife. And if he was ruthless enough to destroy a marriage, what happens when that stolen wife becomes a problem? Diddy had a system, a playbook for breaking down women and making them completely dependent on him. What happened to Kim wasn't unique. It was calculated. The same tactics, the same isolation methods, the same psychological warfare he would later perfect on Cassie. This wasn't love. This was predatory behavior disguised as romance.
Diddy basically took, when Al B. Sure was dating Kim Porter and they had this son, well, Diddy wanted her for himself, just like Cassie. Cassie was actually dating Ryan Leslie, who is a singer and a producer. And when he saw Cassie, he decided that she's going to be mine. And he did whatever he could in his power to take her away from Ryan Leslie. Okay, it was through intimidation, through, trying to make a business deal with her, acting like he was signing her because he was really interested in her music. Well, no, once he locked her into that deal, it then became a form of allegedly extortion that, like, listen, I want you, you do what I want, you make me happy, or he was going to kill her career and leave her with nothing. And through all types. I mean, we've seen the things that Diddy is capable of. We've heard the things that he's capable of, right? So I don't want to get into all of that because there's a lot of details to it. It wasn't just a woman that just monkey branching to the next guy. There was a lot more to it. Well, the same thing happened with Kim Porter, who was dating Albie Shore. And again, like I said, they had a son. Well, when Diddy wanted her, what Diddy wants, he gets it. And even when he says, take that, take that, take that, that's one of his famous lines where he's going to take whatever it is that he wants through whatever means necessary. Now, what's important about this and to understand the details is that when he took Kim Porter, that wasn't enough. He has to humiliate. He has to completely try to destroy what he sees as his enemy. Okay, he has to leave that person broken. And so for many years, most people thought that Albie Shore was a deadbeat father and basically did not want his son Quincy, and that Diddy said he adopted him. Even though his father was living and breathing and wanted him and was in his life, Diddy alienated him from his father.
Kim went from being a married woman with her own identity to being completely absorbed into Diddy's universe. And when you look at what happened to Cassie years later, it's the exact same playbook. He didn't learn these tactics overnight, he perfected them on Kim Porter. But the control didn't stop at emotional manipulation. According to people who were actually there, who saw what was happening behind closed doors, Diddy turned Kim's own home into a prison. And the evidence of that surveillance, it's about to blow your mind.
I think he's very capable of doing it. It's in his character. That's who he is. That's what comes with power. That's what comes with arrogance. That's what comes with, what makes him. I seen fights when he have an argument, fight with a female, whatever it may be. I seen it with my own friends. But sometimes you say, we all go through things, but once you have a sign of doing it over and over and over again, that's when it becomes a problem. You be like, so every relationship that you get in, you're violent in them? I was around when Cassie was there. I knew Kim Porter before I knew Puff. I met Misa, but it was a history. When you have a history of the same thing, man, it becomes a problem.
Speaking of Kim Porter, because you knew Kim Porter, is it true that Diddy broke her nose?
Bust her nose, man. Anytime a man would go out his way to wiretap someone's phone or put taps in their homes just to monitor their conversation, that's a sign of insanity.
Mark Curry just confirmed what Al has been saying for years. Diddy didn't just control Kim emotionally, he literally wiretapped her house. Think about that level of paranoia and control. He broke her nose, turned her into his personal punching bag, then had the audacity to monitor her every conversation to make sure she wasn't telling anyone about the mistreatment. When you wiretap someone's house and monitor their every move, you're not just controlling them, you're preparing to make them disappear without a trace. When Kim Porter died, everyone had questions about where Diddy was that day. Simple question, right? You'd think someone that close to the situation would have a clear answer. But watch what happens when someone tries to pin down Diddy's whereabouts on the day Kim died.
Agent 76, Rescue 82, cardiac arrest. Agent 76, you're gonna get EMS 14. EMS 14, respond with Agent 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
We have breaking news to tell you about now. Model and actress Kim Porter, who shares 3 children with Sean Diddy Combs, has been found dead.
Yeah, Kim Porter was found this morning in bed, unresponsive, in the upstairs bedroom of this Toluca Lake home. They say a doctor spoke with them who said she had been feeling ill for the last week.
We do not see any foul play at this point, so we'll just keep in contact with the doctor based upon his investigation.
And how do you rule that out so quickly when it comes to foul play?
No one's ruling out anything at this point. The cause of death is just undetermined because we don't know the cause of death. There's no obvious signs of death upon examining the decedent.
Was P. Diddy home at the time of her death, or just here when you got here?
I can't comment on that.
Did you see that backtrack? One minute he's confident there was no foul play, the next minute he can't comment on where Diddy was. That's not how innocent people respond to simple questions. If your friend died of natural causes, you don't suddenly get evasive about your whereabouts. You don't lawyer up over pneumonia. This is the behavior of someone who knows exactly where Diddy was and exactly why that information can't become public. But it gets shadier. Because while Diddy's whereabouts remain a mystery, guess who showed up at Kim's house that day? The same man who's been cleaning up Hollywood's biggest scandals for years.
She wasn't writing a book. She was like loyal to the bone. she was not that kind of person. She wasn't writing a book about Puff. If she was going to write a book, she would have written a book 500 years ago and not dealt with this.
Kimberly Antoinette Porter was born on December 15, 1970 in Columbus, Georgia. She was the daughter of Jake and Sarah Porter. Kim was described as loving, kind, and beautiful inside and out. From a very early age, she showed a keen interest in the world of entertainment. According to Kim's childhood friend, music producer Dallas Austin, Kim wanted to get out of Columbus to be somebody. Dallas's mom was pregnant with him at the same time Kim's mother, Sarah, was pregnant with her. Dallas and Kim were like two peas in a pod up until she left Columbus. It didn't take long for her to be embraced in the field. Her journey into the limelight began in her teenage years when she started her career as a model. According to her aunt, Caroline Ross,
she went to modeling school here in Columbus, and then they would travel to Hilton Head, and she won quite a few contests there, and she won Model of the South there.
Kim started modeling for stores in Columbus, New York, and internationally. Therefore, once Kim graduated from Columbus High School in 1988, she moved to New York City to further her career. Very early in her career, she was wildly successful on the catwalk and in front of the camera. Kim represented brands like Tommy Hilfiger in the pages of magazines like Glamour and Cosmopolitan. She also graced covers of Essence, Jet, and Runway magazines. Kim became the face of hair care products like Cream of Nature and Claro. Very early on, Kim was doing everything she was inspired to do as a little girl.
2 coroner reports for a simple pneumonia case? Corey Gamble mysteriously appearing at the crime scene? Diddy calls Kim, but his location is completely unknown? Nothing about this adds up. This has cover-up written all over it. But Al B sure isn't the only one questioning the official story. Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, who was deep in the inner circle, has been watching this whole situation unfold. And what he's revealing backs up everything Al has been saying for years. When someone who was literally paid to protect Diddy starts contradicting the narrative, you know something's seriously wrong.
Kim was fine the day before and the day of her death. And then now she found in the bed dead from pneumonia. That just don't sound right, bro. That don't sound right at all.
So you feel the same way about her death being suspect?
I don't think nobody in America thinks there's nothing suspicious about Kim's death, bro. If you are rich like that, you could, Kim had, I think a net worth of like, what, 12 million a year or something like that? Kim could have called any doctor to come over and look at her. If she was that bad, she could have called an ambulance or something like that. Everything is suspicious about her death, bruh. And I don't think an autopsy was done on her. And if it was a half.
Deal just confirmed that Kim was fine, she was healthy, and the official story doesn't add up. Gene was there. He saw Kim regularly, and he's telling you straight up that something's not right. When the people closest to the situation are all saying the same thing, maybe it's time to start listening. And Gene noticed something else that should make your blood run cold. After Kim died, Diddy's behavior at the funeral was so paranoid, so suspicious, that even his own security team was questioning what was really going on.
And all of a sudden, they rush to do the coroner come in and say, yo, she had pneumonia, she died of pneumonia, but nobody did no autopsy or nothing like that. Get out of here. Have her funeral, put her in a gold casket. It takes, what, 2 months to get those gold caskets, had it within a week? Oh, you're a millionaire, I guess you can. You're a multi-millionaire, you can get it that quick. Then had somebody at the funeral home, had a bodyguard at the funeral home watching the dead body for 24 hours up until the funeral.
A gold casket under constant surveillance? That's not grief, that's guilt. Deal. Watch Diddy act like someone was going to steal evidence from Kim's dead body. You don't guard a corpse unless you're terrified of what it might reveal. Diddy's paranoia at that funeral told Gene everything he needed to know about who was really responsible for Kim Porter's death. But here's what makes Kim Porter's death even more suspicious. She wasn't just some ex-girlfriend who knew a few embarrassing secrets. Kim had been collecting evidence for years, documenting everything she witnessed during their relationship. And according to multiple sources, she was planning to expose it all in a tell-all book that would have destroyed Diddy's empire completely.
It's been long suspected since it happened, since she died in, I would say, rather mysterious circumstances, that Diddy had something to do with the death of his ex-partner and the mother to his children, a woman named Kim Porter. Now, what happened was she mysteriously died of pneumonia at the age of 47. Not the typical way that a 47-year-old goes out, especially just when they are about to publish a tell-all book on their very famous ex, Diddy. That's what happened to Kim. She died of pneumonia at the age of 47 years old. Well, guess what? It was just announced yesterday that Kim Porter's book is being published. It's a 60-page book entitled Kim's Lost Words. It claims to be a collection of the diaries of Kim Porter, the mother of Diddy's children, and it was leaked by her friends. Now, the person who's publishing is saying that he received a thumbnail from one of the friends who was very scared, and it is heavily implied they believe that Diddy had something to do with her death. In the book, Porter allegedly recounts discovering and making copies of the tapes that Diddy made of himself having with young boys that he was managing, including an alleged tape involving an 18-year-old pop star who went on to become a household name. Porter alleges that when she discovered those videotapes of Sean and his encounters in the bedroom in this vault, she made copies of them as protection for herself. Realized that this is a very dangerous situation. I'm going to make copies for protection for myself, and included it as a part of her plan to leave him. But the memoir says that when she watched back the tapes, she was so shocked because there were things, quote, some of the tapes had things I would have never expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys, like the two hip hop stars formerly managed by Diddy and the then 18-year-old pop star, I would have never known. The book publisher is claiming that it was the friends that gave him this thumbnail, the friends that provided this memoir. The friends also provided copies of these alleged tapes so that he knew that it was legitimate. And the final entry of the memoir from Kim Porter, before she mysteriously got pneumonia and didn't survive it as a 47-year-old, is her dramatically telling her friends, quote, he got me.
There it is. Kim Porter knew everything about Diddy's operation, and she was ready to expose it all. Think about what that means for someone like Diddy, whose entire empire is built on image and reputation. A tell-all book from the mother of his children, someone who lived with him for over a decade, would have been nuclear. She had first-hand knowledge of the mistreatment, the control, the illegal activities. According to unofficial court transcripts that have surfaced, Kim was subjected to the same twisted activities that Cassie later described in her lawsuit. The same pattern, the same frequency, the same sick rituals.
This is a bombshell, guys. That's crazy. This is his assistant saying, yes, he was in the hotels, the freak off, most likely hotels, during a freak off with Kim Porter. Of course, she's not saying that directly, but why else would he be staying in a hotel once a week like he did with Cassie? What names would he book a room under? Frank Black, Frank White, just like Cassie's freak offs. And the girlfriends? Jackie Starr. That was Cassie's name that she used at the freak off hotel. Where did he stay? The Intercontinental in Buckhead in Atlanta, the Beverly Hills Hotel in LA. What were in his bags? Open this up. A camera, small bottles of baby oil and lube. Every time? Oh, sorry, not every time. I thought there was a question. Sorry, here it is. A camera, small bottles of baby oil and lube. Cameras, every time. What would you be doing? Watching TV, ordering room service, keeping up on sleep. Afterward, I'd sweep the room for anything left behind. Any damage? Baby oil.
Once a week, just like with Cassie, Kim Porter was being subjected to the same depraved activities that we're now hearing about in federal court. Imagine the detail, the specificity, the evidence she could have provided. Kim wasn't just going to expose Diddy, she was going to bury him. And that level of threat, that's exactly the kind of danger that gets people eliminated. When powerful people need problems to disappear, they don't handle it themselves. They call professionals. Hollywood has a network of fixers who specialize in making scandals vanish. Witnesses go quiet and inconvenient truths get buried. And guess who was conveniently at Kim Porter's house the day she died?
Kris Jenner's boyfriend, and a guy often called as a Hollywood fixer. A resurfaced photo shared on social media. It shows Corey Gamble outside of Kim's Toluca Lake home the morning she died. Before the coroner arrived, guys. Yes, before. And it's just shocking. Like, what does he have to do with this? So you may be asking, who is Corey Gamble? Well, allegedly, Gamble is a talent manager who has worked with Justin Bieber and rubbed shoulders with big names like Harvey Weinstein. He's tight with Diddy, even posting a birthday tribute to Kim after her death, saying that she and Diddy did so much for my life. But then the question is, why was he there? No official explanation exists for Gamble's presence. Social media all over the place have been buzzing with theories that he was there to clean up for Diddy, maybe handling sensitive evidence. One person even called out, and they have been persistent with this, calling out that he was a handler who keeps powerful people's secrets safe.
Corey Gamble isn't just Kris Jenner's boyfriend. He's Hollywood's most connected elimination specialist. When A-listers need someone to permanently disappear from their story, Corey orchestrates the entire operation. He doesn't just bury secrets, he buries the people who know them. When celebrities need someone eliminated from their story, Corey's the guy who makes it happen. No questions asked, no loose ends left behind. And he just happened to be at Kim's house when she died? That's not a coincidence. That's a professional doing his job. And here's what makes Corey's presence even more chilling. Kim had finally found her way out of Diddy's control. She had leverage, she had freedom, and she was ready to use both. But that freedom made her the most dangerous person in Diddy's world.
When someone cheats and they have a child with someone else, that's my boundary. That's, for me, that's where I draw the line. And so with that happening, it made it a little easier to leave.
Kim Porter finally had her escape route. Diddy's secret love child gave her the leverage she needed to break free from years of mistreatment and control. She wasn't trapped anymore, she wasn't dependent anymore, and that made her incredibly dangerous. A free Kim Porter with nothing left to lose? That's exactly the kind of threat that requires professional intervention. Al wasn't just a witness to Kim's deletion. He became a target himself, because when you know too much about Diddy's operation, when you start asking the right questions and connecting the right dots, you don't just get threatened, you get eliminated. And what happened to Al proves just how far Diddy was willing to go to keep Kim's secrets buried.
Al alleges that Diddy was involved in Kim's death, possibly to silence her. He ties it to Diddy's 2024 arrest for trafficking and racketeering, suggesting that Kim knew too much about his alleged crimes. In the Peacock documentary, Diddy, The Making of a Bad Boy, this came out this year in January. Al said Kim warned him, "Don't get involved or you will get killed." Now, Al had his own death scare, so he claims that Diddy targeted him too. In 2022, he fell into a coma from multi-organ failure after getting a liver transplant.
To finally tell my story.
Now, this is also extremely rare, and doctors aren't even sure what caused the coma, but that's the only thing that they can link it to. Okay, he had this liver transplant, and then suddenly he has multi-organ failure out of the blue under mysterious circumstances that put him in a coma for 2 months. It's just unheard of. He told Fox 5 he believes Diddy or his associates caused it, saying, "I'm the only one left alive." who knows the truth. Now, there's also something about stolen devices. In a September 2024 Instagram post, Al called Kim's death a tragic and claimed her computer and phone held a alleged memoir where it told the truth about everything that Diddy had done, at least the things that Kim had been a witness to. He demanded an FBI probe into everyone at her home that day, including publicists. Al's ready to testify in Diddy's federal trial, which you guys know started this month and we've been covering. And his claims have fueled theories that Kim was about to expose Diddy's dark side. But Diddy's team calls it all baseless conspiracy theories.
Al almost died, and he's telling you straight up that Diddy was behind it. This wasn't some random health scare. This was a targeted attack designed to silence the one person who knew the truth about Kim Porter's death. But here's what Diddy didn't count on. Al survived, and Al isn't staying quiet anymore. He's been using every platform he can find to demand justice for Kim, to call out the lies, and to prepare the world for what he's about to reveal in court. His social media has become a weapon against Diddy's narrative.
R&B singer Al B. Sure wants the late Kim Porter's death case to be reopened. He wants Diddy investigated. He believes that Diddy had something to do with it, along with her missing computer. He's also slamming this new book, Kim's Lost Words, as fictitious, saying that this is not real. So Al B. Sure took to his Instagram in 3 different posts and tagged law enforcement from the feds to the LAPD to the NYPD. If you want to hear the full 3 posts, I posted a longer form video on YouTube, Empire on YouTube. So he says this, he says, for over a decade and a half, I've been posting about and tagging random law enforcement agencies in hopes to protect loved ones, avoid deaths and tragedies that could all have been avoided.
Al has been preparing for years to destroy Diddy's defense, and he finally has his chance. The man who almost died for speaking the truth is about to make sure Kim Porter gets the justice she deserves. And this is where everything changes. Al isn't just talking anymore. He's not just posting on social media or giving interviews. He's been officially summoned to court, and what he's about to reveal in that courtroom is going to destroy every lie Diddy's defense team has carefully constructed. He's got a tell-all book coming, but before that hits the shelves, he's going to obliterate Diddy's natural death narrative under oath. This isn't just testimony. This is a man on a mission to expose a eliminator. ALB, Sure, is about to expose the exact methodology Diddy used to make Kim Porter vanish. The systematic isolation, the professional fixer network, the orchestrated elimination disguised as natural death. Al knows every detail of how Diddy's disappearance operation works. He's going to walk into that courtroom and reveal the step-by-step process Diddy used to eliminate Kim Porter. The surveillance phase, the isolation tactics, the professional hit team, the cover-up operation. Al knows exactly how Diddy's disappearance machine works, and he's about to expose every detail. And when he's done testifying, there won't be a single person left who believes Kim Porter died of pneumonia. Justice is coming, and Al B. Sure is going to deliver it personally. But Al's testimony raises disturbing questions that go far beyond this single case. If Diddy was willing to eliminate the mother of his children to protect his secrets, how many other inconvenient witnesses have been silenced? How many other deaths that were ruled natural causes were actually professional eliminations? And most importantly, how many other victims are still out there, too terrified to speak because they've seen what happens to people who threaten the empire? If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.